guys, and welcome back to my channel. I want to say a very big thank you to all of my subscribers. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like this video, share my video, comment. If you're actually having any question regarding sewing, please don't hesitate to just drop a comment down below. And if you find this video helpful and useful, please don't hesitate to like it. So actually, like you can see what I'm putting on, this is actually what I'm going to, this is actually from the last video I made. I actually made the sleeve and I didn't include the sleeve on the video. So I was like asking if you actually want me to make a video of this high-low sleeve, you can comment. So most of my subscribers, they actually say they want it. So that is why I'm actually going to be making the video of this high-low sleeve today. As you can see, it's very fine. Actually, I tried it out and it was so perfect. It's so perfect. It's something that you can actually do. You can see this part is short, which is this part, and then this other down part is long. So that's what I'm going to be cutting today. It's very simple, easy, and so fast to do. So actually, I'm going to be using my basic sleeve pattern. That is what I'm going to be using today. If you check out my channel, you actually find I actually have a video of how to draw a basic sleeve pattern on my channel. So today the length of this my pattern is actually 10 inches. That's the length, is actually 10 inches. So I'm going to be using, it's actually more than, but for this illustration I'm going to be making use of 10, so I'll be reducing it. I'll be making use of 10. So this is my fabric. These are leftover fabric though. So I'm going to be placing it here like this, and I'm going to be cutting out. As I go along, I'll explain to you. So I'll just place it like this, my basic sleeve pattern. Like I said, if you want to know how to cut sleeve, it's not really difficult. You just check it on my channel and it has a very clear explanation on it. So I'll just cut it out like this. So this is the sleeve. This is the pattern. This is the sleeve pattern that I'm going to be using. This part now that I have, especially for beginners, this is the upper part. That's from my shoulder here to this point. So that's what I have here. This is actually, this is 10 inches from here to here. This is 10 inches. I think for this original I used 11 inches. So it depends on where you want your cut to be. If you want it to be here, whatever. So this is 10 inches. Then the width of the sleeve, which is this part, always make sure you measure. For this illustration, actually what I'm going to be using is actually 10 inches. That is what I'm going to be using. I'll be using 10 inches. Then I'll add half an inch to it, so it will give me 10.5 inches. That's what I'm going to, that's the seam allowance. That's what you use to sew it for this part. Then for the round O, arm O, you always make sure you measure. This is actually 8 inches. That's this part. This is 8 inches. I think this original one is 9. So this is just for illustration purpose. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, so I've cut out my sleeve pattern. So this is this basic, this up part. So when you're done cutting out like this, so you just take it like this and then you sew. I'll take it to my machine and sew. And when you're sewing, always make sure you measure, like this bicep part. I always make sure I measure it on my armhole. I always measure when it comes to arm. That's this upper part. So with that, you won't have problem. You'll be able to raise your hands easily. So you measure and then sew to your desired result. Alright, welcome back guys. As you can see, I finished sewing it. So when you measure now, I now have 10 inch. When you divide it into 2, because you can see it's divided into 2, so you have 5. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cutting this down pattern. I'm going to be using basic flare pattern, peplum pattern, whatever, which is 6.28. That's the measurement to divide the circumference. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be using 10, since I have 10 already here. So when you divide 10 by 6.28, you actually have 1.59. So I'm going to be approximating it, the 9, I'll approximate it to be 1.6. That's for science students though. So I'll approximate it. So I'm going to be using 1.6 6. That's what I'm going to be using. I'm not adding any seam allowance because you can see it's already sewn, so I'm just going to be fitting it in so it will fit perfectly. But if you actually want to pleat, like this one, I have some little pleats on it. If you actually want to pleat, then you can increase the circumference of this flare. If you actually just want to drop some little pleats on it, then you can do that. But for this, I'm not going to be doing it, so I'll use 1.6. So when I take my tape like this, 1.6, I'll just put it like this from the top part. My fabric is already folded into 4. It's folded into 4. So I'll just take my tape like this and then measure 1.6. This is 1.5 and then this is 1.6. So I'll just put it like this here and then come to this side also and measure 1.6 also. So I'll just measure it like this. And then this middle point, I'll measure the 1.6 also. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, and the length, like I said, sorry, I forgot to tell you, the full length of this sleeve is actually going to be 17 inch. That's from here to this point. It's actually going to be 17 inch. So since I already have 10 inch on top, the next thing I'm going to be measuring, 7 inches. So that's how you determine the full length. So I'm going to be measuring 7 inch from this point. So this is my circumference. So I'll take my tape like this. I'll measure 7 inches. I'm adding half an inch to it. This half an inch is going to be for my seam allowance. So I'll just measure it 7.5 like this, and then bring my tape here also 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, and then this end point I'll measure 7.5 also. So I'll just connect my lines together. So the first thing I'm going to be doing, I'll cut the down part out before I'll cut this upper part. So I just cut it out like this. And then before I continue, I'll just put notches here at these 4 ends. I'll put notch here and then put notch here. You see, I notch this part and notch this part. Then I'll cut out this part. Like I always say, you can cut it out small from the top, but if you cut it out and it's too big, that means you are going to be plating it. As you can see, it's just so perfect. But if I want to cut it out now, so I'll plait it, I'll just increase it a bit so that I'll be able to plait it on it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be cutting the high-low part for you. And this is how you cut the high-low part. You can see the flare is well formed and well put together. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, remember the notches I put here. So this is the part I'm actually going to be working with. I'm going to be coming here now. So the next thing, so now you are going to determine how your the high-low part of your sleeve, how you want it, however you want it. You do it to your own desired result. So for this, I think I used 5 inches, but for this I'm not going to be using 5 inches. So I'll start from this part. You can see the notched part at this middle. So most times what I normally do, like for this, I extended it from this notch part, I extended it by 2 inches. I extended by 2 inches and now stopped here. So everything I'm going to be doing is going to be coming here. I'm not going to be stopping it at this middle. I want it to stop here. I'm going to be stopping here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I will just take my tape like this and then measure. Like I said, for this I used 5 inches, so I think let me just use the 5 inches also. This is from this first part now. So I'll measure 5 inches like this from here, from this point, and then take my tape again and place like this. I'll measure 5.5 inch, just like from 1 inch from the circumference part. I'll measure 5.5, and then I'll continue with my 5.5 inches from this point. I'll continue my 5.5. When I get to almost the middle, this is not the middle part, I'll increase it to 6 inches. You see what I'm doing? I'm increasing it to 6 inches. When I get to this point, now this is my 6 inches. In this middle point now, you remember that this part this whole part from this side. Now this is 7 inches, everywhere is 7 inches, so I don't want I'm going to be stopping my 7 inches here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll just continue with my 6.5 like this, and then when I get to this midpoint, I'm still going to be continuing with my 6.5 like this. I'm still continuing with my 6.5. When I get to this point here, so that's when I'm going to be stopping at 7. Remember, because of the half inches I added, so I have 7.5. So like I said, you remember that initially that I added half an inch to the 7 inch, so I have 7.5. That's why you see I have 7.5 here. So I'm going to be stopping it here at 7 inches. So I'll just take it like this, and then this is the 7 inches. So I'll just take it like this and then stop it here at 7 inches. So remember, I started with 5 inches and then worked it down to 7 inches. This sleeve is very simple and so easy. So I'll just take my scissors like this and then cut out. But remember, everything I'm doing, you see that I did not exceed. This one I just added some inch to it to just exceed the middle part. So this is our sleeve. As you can see, this is the high part and then this is the low part. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'll show you how to attach it. When you want to attach, when you are done, you take the middle part like this of the sleeve and then put notch at the back. This is the back, and then this is the front part. And then you come here, this is the back, you already know because it is stitched, and then you put a notch here at the middle here. And then you open up your sleeve like this when you want to fix it to your, this part to this part. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, this is the high part. This is the high part. Remember that the high part is going to be at the back. It's going to be at this stitched part. That's how it's going to be. While this low part is actually going to be in front. You can see that's the shape of the sleeve. You can see it. It's just there because since it is a flare, so as you are attaching it, you just make some little adjustment and then it will come out. So I'll take this part like this and then turn like this, and then take this part like this and then turn. I'll just attach like this, and then I'll take it. You can sew from your machine, but I just want to use pins just to indicate how you sew it like this. As you sew, you turn in. You can see this is the middle part, this is the sewn part, which is this part, and then this is it here. So when you get to this point, you just turn it like this, and then make sure that this part is on this part also. Make sure it is together. Make sure it is together. As you are sewing, any excess that is remaining, like I told you, you can just put a little pleat on it. It will actually cost nothing to even make it a little bit finer. So you just turn it like this, and then I'm just trying to do it because of time. So at the end of the day, you can see this is it. Ta-da! You can see I have exactly what I have here. You can see it. If at the end of the day, before you attach, if you look at it, if you feel that maybe it's not high enough, or it's not, that in this part is not high enough, you can still reduce. You can just do whatever you want with it, and at the end of the day, you come out with your beautiful high-low sleeve. As you can see, this is my high-low sleeve. This is it. It's so fine. It's something like I told you, I just tried it. I actually don't have it before. I just tried it and it came out very fine on this dress. So I've come to the end of this illustration. Like I said, if you find this video useful, please and please don't hesitate to give it a like. Hit on the like button. It costs you nothing. So thank you so much, and if you are new, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.